Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the May 8th, 2025 Board of Commissioners working session. Our first item of business is a motion to approve the minutes from the working session of April 10th, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The minutes are approved. We have one agenda item tonight, so again, we're going to move public comment to after the presentation, so if folks have questions or comments, they can make those based on what they've heard. So tonight, we're going to review and discuss amending an ordinance revising the Volunteer Service Tax Credit Program originally established pursuant to Ordinance Number 2143, enacting tax credits for volunteer members of the volunteer fire companies of the Abington Township Fire Department and nonprofit emergency medical service agencies. And we are joined this evening by the esteemed Tom McEnany, and welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen of the board. I'm here tonight to respectfully request you review and move through the process, the ordinance that we're talking about here for the volunteer service tax credits. Just as a background, this would be to amend an already existing ordinance. The Abington Township has always been very progressive when it comes to embracing recruitment and retention projects for the volunteer fire department. Originally, this ability to allow for tax credits was a result of Act 172 of 2016 in Abington Township. I believe is one of the very first municipalities to embrace that when it passed Ordinance 2143 in December of 2017. The original law under Act 172 allowed for the municipality to allow for a 20% rebate on property or earned income tax. In 2020, the state updated the law to allow up to 100% tax rebate on property and as well as earned income tax. The earned income tax, they have to structure it a little differently, but under the existing membership, under the existing program that was put into place in December of 2017, any member of the fire department who attained 25 hours of volunteer service qualified for that credit. Unfortunately, at the 20% maximum, it's not a very utilized tool by the members. In 2024, I believe 11 members applied out of 166 that qualified. 2023, it was 14. 2022, it was 14. The proposed amendment would have two effects. First, it would increase the potential amount of the tax rebate, but in return, it would also require an increased amount of running on fire calls and training. So it's meant to incentivize running more calls.
So, Tom, this is modeled after the Montgomery County
Exactly.
ordinance? Yeah.
So it's the point system and the tiered system. It models the Montgomery County tax rebate program that was just put into place this year. Exactly. And the thought process on that is, again, it incentivizes, but it also, if we did it this way, the companies would only have to calculate it once. So the county puts out a very comprehensive spreadsheet where at the end of the year you just enter in everybody's calls, length of service, training, meetings, things like that, and it automatically calculates too. So we always try to take some of that paperwork burden off of the companies because they are volunteers. They signed up to fight fires, not push papers. So that's kind of why we looked at that as a benefit. To model it exactly after that. I'm trying to see here. And one of the things that last year we ran a member survey amongst all of our membership just to see, what we're doing well, what we could be improving upon and things like that. And one of the questions was, what sort of incentives would make you potentially run more calls, go to more training. And it was an open-ended question. It wasn't a check. And of 112 responses, 21 put some sort of tax relief or something like that. So that's little under 20% that, you know, kind of off the top of their head, that's what they filled out. So that's why we're thinking that this could potentially help drive some of the, you know, the name of the game in the fire department, particularly the volunteer fire department, is butts and seats. It'll get people in seats, it'll get people at training. And, you know, while there is a cost to this, when you look at the potential cost of a career fire department, it's
prohibitive,
It's a fraction of a fraction.
Yeah, it's apples to
So.
something else, not even oranges.
And then, just for background, the fire department last year ran 1,917 calls for service, and that totaled 24,274 volunteer hours of service.
Wow.
And that's so we have a membership of about 230 members, and of that 230, about 130 are active, riding on the trucks, volunteers. The other 100 are retired, administrative members, and folks like that help out around the station, but
Aren't actually going out on calls.
Exactly.
So this wouldn't necessarily apply to them based on the
They
criteria?
would still be able to benefit from this.
They would, okay.
It would be tougher for them, I'm not gonna.
Right,
Yeah.
based on the point system.
Yeah. For a purely administrative member, I believe the highest that they can attain, I want to say, is 25%.
Okay.
Because the majority, in order to gain anything higher than 25%.
You actually have to be out,
It has to
yeah.
be running calls and going to training.
But that 25 is higher than what we have currently, correct? You said 20%?
Exactly.
Yeah,
It
okay.
would actually be higher.
Okay.
I didn't even think about that, but yes.
I'm listening.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, we'll
It's
open it up. I mean, look, before we get into that, I think, you know, I can say this on behalf of the board. We are incredibly fortunate to have a fire department and the fire companies that we have here in the township. And the volunteerism and the spirit that exists there, and what you and your colleagues have done to save this community time and again, most recently with the SPS disaster. I mean, we could not exist as a community without the work that you and your colleagues do. So, I mean, we are here tonight to talk through how we work with you to get something done that would be meaningful and to retain what you've all built over the last 25, 30 years.
And we appreciate that, and we appreciate the sentiment. And, you know, conversely, we wouldn't have as strong of a department if we didn't have such a great backing and relationship with our board. I was actually, we check our total number of members, you know, every month or every quarter, and our stats guy, he's a part-timer. He actually is, it's John Bothwell, he's a retired chief of Abington Fire Company.
I love John.
So
he's great.
he runs all of our numbers for us.
I didn't realize that. He's
And
great.
he emailed me today, I don't even think he was aware I was coming here tonight, with our, you know, the number of volunteers. And while the number of volunteers across the state have been diminishing, we've been fortunate that our membership has remained remarkably steady. We've been tracking this since 2013. And in 2013, we had 190 active members. As of April 1st, we had 226 active members. So
Great. So
we
you're bucking the
typically,
trend.
Yeah, we're definitely bucking the trend, and we wholeheartedly believe, because of the partnership between the township and the fire department and the backing that the board gives us in order to put together such great programs, such great trainings, that we become an attractive agency for people to volunteer with.
Understand. Yeah, so we'll open it up. I'm going to start first with Commissioner Brown, and then I'll open it up because this has been an issue that Commissioner Brown's been championing for quite a while. So Commissioner Brown, have at it.
Yep. This is great. When I first became a commissioner, one of our firefighters, Mark Hood, reached out to me and, you know, kind of told me about the programs, about these tax breaks. And I did some research, and for those who do not know, we have an elite fire company in Abington. The Abington Township Fire Department has the CFAI International accreditation. They are the only 100% all-volunteer fire department in the state to achieve this international accreditation.
It's actually the country.
It's the country, so we got to
I don't mean
update
to correct you,
it
but-
on your site.
Yeah.
Can I get the world?
That speaks to the dedication to not only achieve that accreditation, but also to keep it, right? It takes training, ongoing training to keep it. So they have not only achieved it, but do the work to keep it, right?
that's impressive.
And I'm convinced that it is because of that dedication to keep that accreditation that we see the results that we saw with our recent fires here, right? So I am a full-throated support of this ordinance. The men and women in our fire companies deserve it wholeheartedly. I think it's also an effective retention and recruitment tool. And I hope to have the opportunity to vote in the ordinance shortly.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Commissioner Brown. Who would like to follow those excellent comments? Commissioners, did you pull your hand back, or? You're next. Okay, go ahead.
Ditto on everything that Commissioner Brown just said. I think that the accreditation, I think that also helps with the recruitment. So I think because of our recruitment and our good training and everything, we get the accreditation, but I think the accreditation also helps us recruit. So I think it works both ways. Quick question. People would be able to get this and also the county one?
Correct.
Right? They can get both?
Yep,
Okay,
100%.
that's a quick question. I'm full support of this. I think it's wonderful.
Commissioner Spiegelman.
I will speak for even longer. No, actually. Just a quick question. Tom, can you repeat the number of active members, like going to calls and doing the trainings? That was 100 and...
It's 130 that are active,
30, okay.
running calls, going to training, and then the total membership is about 230.
Right. And actually, I want to say thank you, President Hecker, for pointing out that actually this is an upgrade even for the retired and administrative members. I also echo the sentiments of my friends. The value of, I mean, just, if you're looking at just numbers, every day with every accreditation, with every training, with everything ATFD does, they're saving us money in our day-to-day lives in ways we don't even see. The insurance rates that we pay as residents of this township are, wonderfully suppressed because we have the best fire suppression anywhere. Again, wholeheartedly, full-throatedly, whatever, full support, gleefully.
Thank you.
Yeah, gleefully.
Are there any other comments? Of course.
I think this is a wonderful program. I'm just so proud to be in this community with you guys doing these sorts of things. The injured, the provision for injured individuals, the whole thing is just great, but that popped out especially to me. So if a volunteer is injured in the course of duty, they, just for clarification, not to get into the weeds of the statute, but they retain eligibility to a degree. And that's something new, I guess, but it just, I don't know, that popped out at me as being a really super fine addition to the ordinance.
That's correct. Off the top, I don't remember off the top of my head what it was, but I believe they retain eligibility for a certain number of years afterwards, or
Right.
until their injury subsides. Yes, that was not particularly built into the previous version of it. However, the previous version of it, it was relatively easy to attain 25 hours of service a year. Most active members probably hit that in, I don't know, third week of January sometimes, depending on how busy we are. Yeah. This year, the week of February 17th, we hit it by Tuesday.
Any further comments or questions? Okay, so Manager Chrisman, the next steps would be then this would appear at our next voting meeting for
That's correct. So
for
this would,
consideration.
and I'll defer to the solicitor, but this should be back before the Board of Commissioners at your meeting in June.
Okay.
For, I guess, an advertisement, and then once it's advertised, then we'll see it in July for final ratification.
Okay.
There is one thing that I believe the board has to, I guess, decide upon.
Okay.
For the earned income tax, it's allowed to be 100%, but there has to be a number on it. So if you look on, I believe it's page 21, I put in there 1,000, 1,500 as the cap. That's kind of a policy decision for you folks to determine what it should be. I kind of put that there as a placeholder for
Okay.
discussion.
The cap for the credit or for the income?
Cap on the earned income tax credit.
Okay.
So I believe our earned income tax is 1%.
It's 1%, yeah.
So,
Okay, so we'll kick that around, and
Okay.
I guess we can include that final approach in what we put together for next month.
sure, I
To
just
vote.
wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Tom. And if you have thoughts other than the placeholder, please share.
Will do.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming out, thanks for the presentation, and
thank you for your
most
time.
importantly, thanks for all the work that you and your colleagues do.
On behalf of the department, we appreciate the backing that we get from the board, from all of you, and it's greatly appreciated.
You make it easy. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, with that, we'll open it up for public comment on this item. If there's anybody in the room that has a comment that they'd like to make, please feel free to come forward. And if not, we'll turn to Zoom. And if there's nobody on Zoom, we will adjourn. Thank you.